On April 12th, 1961. That date is in all the history books, right? Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin orbits the Earth, comes back a global hero, the undisputed first human in space. His name is etched into history forever. But for over 60 years, a chilling question has been lingering in the shadows of that incredible achievement. What if Gagarin wasn't actually the first? What if he was simply the first to survive the trip? Today, we're diving into one of the most enduring mysteries of the space age, the story of the lost cosmonauts, the supposed phantom figures who were allegedly erased from history. To really understand this theory, you have to go back in time, to the Cold War, the space race. I mean, this wasn't just about exploration or science. This was ideological warfare, plain and simple, between the USA and the USSR. For the Soviet Union, every single launch was a chance to prove the superiority of communism to the world. And this right here reveals the whole mentality. In this incredibly high-stakes game, a successful mission was a massive propaganda victory. But a failure, a dead cosmonaut lost in orbit, that was a national humiliation that could never, ever be admitted. Mistakes weren't just hidden, they were denied, and the people involved were often just erased from public memory. And look, this isn't just speculation. We have documented proof of this level of secrecy. Take the Nedelin disaster in 1960. A rocket explodes on the launch pad, killing over 100 people. The official story for decades? Complete silence. The truth only came out much, much later. Or what about Valentin Bondarenko? He was a cosmonaut who died in a horrific training fire just weeks before Gagarin's flight. His very existence was denied for 20 years. So the crucial point is this. If they could hide deaths on Earth, what could they hide in the silence of space?
So, the most compelling evidence for this whole theory comes not from Russia, but from Italy. And this is where our story shifts to two brothers, Achille and Giovanni Judica-Cordiglia. Now, these guys were amateur radio operators, but their setup, built in an old World War II bunker, was seriously powerful. Powerful enough to listen in on the heavens.
And let's be clear, these weren't just crackpots. They had a proven track record. They successfully recorded the faint signals of Sputnik way back in 1957. They intercepted the heartbeat of Laika, the dog sent to orbit. Their work was verified. But then, they started picking up transmissions the Soviet Union insisted never happened, the sounds of human beings in distress.
The first of these really eerie recordings came in February 1961. Now get this, that's a full 2 months before Gagarin's celebrated flight. And this wasn't telemetry or Morse code. It was something far more disturbing.
On their recording, you can allegedly hear the slow, ragged sound of someone struggling to breathe. It's a deeply unsettling sound, like a person gasping for air in a vacuum. The theory that came out of this is just terrifying. Was this the sound of a pre-Gagarin cosmonaut, their capsule failing, slowly suffocating all alone as they orbited the Earth? A mission that was, of course, never acknowledged. But the labored breathing wasn't the only disturbing sound they recorded. Even earlier, in November of 1960, they intercepted a clear but desperate message in Morse code. The message just repeated over and over, an SOS call directed to the entire world. But the most chilling part was that the signal seemed to be getting weaker, not because it was stopping, but because it was moving away from Earth. This suggests the ultimate nightmare scenario for an astronaut. The theory here is that a Soviet craft missed its re-entry window. A tiny miscalculation could have sent it flying out into deep space, becoming a metal coffin for its crew, forever drifting into the void.
Perhaps the most famous and disturbing recording of them all came in May 1961, just a month after Gagarin's successful return. This time, it was the voice of a woman speaking panicked Russian.
According to translations, her voice is just filled with terror. She talks about the heat rising, about seeing flames, about the catastrophic failure of her craft as it tried to re-enter the atmosphere. It sounds like someone broadcasting their own final, horrifying moments. And here's the big historical problem. The first woman officially in space was Valentina Tereshkova in 1963. So, who was this woman from 1961? If the recording is real, she is a ghost, a pioneer whose fiery death was completely erased from the history book. The recordings are just one piece of this puzzle. Beyond the radio intercepts, there are all these stories of phantom cosmonauts and figures who just, well, they disappeared.
One of the most persistent claims is about a man named Vladimir Ilyushin, the son of a famous aircraft designer. The theory goes that he was launched into space 5 days before Gagarin, but his mission went terribly wrong, forcing him to crash land in China. Admitting their first man in space had to be recovered from a rival nation would have been a disaster. So the story was allegedly changed. Ilyushin's serious injuries were blamed on a car crash, and the backup, Yuri Gagarin, was sent up to claim the glory.
And nothing shows the Soviet practice of erasing history quite like this photograph. This is Grigory Nelyubov, one of the top 6 candidates for the first spaceflight. On the left, an early photo. On the right, the official version released later. He's just gone, airbrushed from history after being dismissed from the program. When the state can literally remove a person from a picture, it makes you wonder who else might have been removed from the story entirely. Now, for this to be a credible explainer, we absolutely have to look at the other side. As compelling as these stories are, there are significant reasons to be skeptical. Russia has consistently and flatly denied that any cosmonaut died in space before Gagarin. Experts have argued the brothers could have misinterpreted signals from ground tests or even unmanned probes. Some linguists claim the Russian in the Burning Woman recording sounds stilted and unnatural. And the most crucial point for skeptics is this. After all these years, there is zero physical evidence. No wreckage, no leaked documents, no confirmed names. So where does that leave us? We have chilling recordings and stories of erased figures on one side, and firm denials and a total lack of hard evidence on the other. Whether the lost cosmonaut stories are true or not, they point to an undeniable reality. The race to the heavens was incredibly dangerous. It was a frantic, high-risk endeavor where human lives were weighed against national prestige. People did die, and those deaths were very often hidden. Think about it, right now, orbiting above our heads are thousands of pieces of space junk, remnants of the last 60 years of exploration. It's a haunting thought that perhaps among that debris field floats a forgotten capsule from the dawn of the space age, its silent occupant a testament to a story we may never fully know. In the end, we are left with more questions than answers. The truth may be lost to history, obscured by Cold War secrecy, but it forces us to reconsider the heroic stories we've been told, and to ask, how many other sacrifices, how many other names remain hidden forever in the vast silence of space?